Welcome back. It is Friday, January 13th in the NBA. My four favorite picks are on the way. Let's recap yesterday. A 1-2 day. Feels like we're taking one step forward, one step back. The NBA has been weird, but either way, LaMelo gets it done. LeBron shoots 28 times, but he gets double teamed, hacked. The refereeing, if you watch the Lakers-Mavericks game, I've said enough. And Kyrie, he hits his over in assists, but not his over in rebounds plus assists. Either way, we're going to dive in today. I like all the four plays we got, and it's Friday the 13th. It's going to be a spooky episode. If you are new, my name's Austin. Welcome aboard to the Call in our Shot community. Go down below, hit that subscribe button, drop a like too. And today we have a new segment. It won't be in this video, but by popular demand, I'm giving the ladder challenge a go. If you have no idea what the ladder challenge is, it's normally where we're going to start it where we put $10 on the first bet. And if we hit it, we roll it over to the next day. You'll see it. We're going to post a YouTube short, so you'll be able to view that on our channel. I think it'll be our first ever short posted. You can see it there. But without further ado, we'll talk about that a little bit more in that short. Let's hop into our favorite plays. I'm starting with this first one. Mr. Alperen Sengun. I like his over 28.5 PRAs, minus 104 on FanDuel. Now, I took this on purpose. This was 27.5 juiced on a couple other books. I took it up a notch because I know it's going to end at 28.5 or even higher. I play it at 29.5. Now, look, you could take the 27.5 if it's live on your book. It's probably minus 130 or worse, so go for it. But you look at the Rockets, they're going to be without Kevin Porter Jr., and they're taking on the Sacramento Kings, a team they just played against just a couple nights ago. In that game, Sengun, 10 points, 10 rebounds, 10 assists, triple-double, and 30 PRAs. Now, I don't necessarily know if he gets a triple-double in this game, but I do expect more points out of him. So if you ever need an individual line for these guys, I don't mind his over in points today. I also don't mind his over in assists. I think he could actually drop 20 points today and make this relatively a no-sweat bet. Now, let's talk about the Kings, though. The team he's going up against, they allowed the fourth most points per game in the paint. You look at Sengun, his over in points is actually a popular play last game, and he only attempted 9 shots. He obviously scored 10 points, but didn't shoot too efficiently. Now, Sengun, the one concern here about him is foul trouble. That's something like he doesn't play a lot of defense and he puts himself in bad positions. And if foul trouble happens, it's not necessarily something we can control, but we could say, you know, we kind of deserved it. But I think given that Kevin Porter Jr.'s out, I think the Rockets try to run the offense a little bit more through Sengun. He's obviously been getting a lot of good press. Batum just talked about him as baby Jokic. You've seen Anthony Edwards talk about him, how they have the game plan for Sengun more so than Jalen Green and Kevin Porter Jr. So I think Sengun's getting a lot of press right now. I think he's going to have a pretty good game, and I anticipate him to play at least 25 minutes. If he gets in a ton of foul trouble, oh well. But look, if he plays 25 or more minutes, he has a great success rate hitting this prop. In Sengun's last 10 games with 25 or more minutes played, keep in mind Kevin Porter Jr. playing in all these games. He's over this line in 6 of 10. He ended with 28 on the dot in 2 of those games. So, you know, a little bit Kevin Porter Jr. out. He probably goes up a little bit more, probably over this in 8 of those 10 games. And I really do think he has a good game. I think he fills up the stat sheet. He can go out there and grab, 15 points, 15 rebounds. Wouldn't surprise me at all, but he's been getting a lot of assists. He can get 6, 7, 8 assists. Gives us a good chance. He also scored 20 points. Really like Sengun today. I'll take his over 28.5 PRAs. If you have 27.5, full send. Take that. 29.5, take that as well. Let's talk about my next play. It's not going to be a popular one at all. It's Klay Thompson. I like his under 23.5 points, minus 115 on FanDuel. Now, you can take this at 22.5 if you want. And let's talk about Mr. Klay Thompson. I don't necessarily know if he's on the thumbnail or not. As they're playing in the Alamo Dome, it's like 65,000 people potentially at this game. It's going to be a big game. Now, it might seem crazy fading Klay Thompson. I mean, look, Klay Thompson, you take this over, you're over it. You've cashed in 6 straight games. However, the schedule makers, he can thank them for that as they played 6 straight home games. Actually, I think they played more. I don't think he played in all of them, but 6 straight home games, a lot of favorable matchups. Now, Stephen Curry, back in this game. Andrew Wiggins, back. And Jordan Poole, obviously still there, and they're on the road in this one. Now, Klay Thompson's obviously been great at home, averaging 23.8 points per game, but on the road, that drops to 17 points per game. So, not too great in 14 road games this year. Klay, under this line in 12 of 14. So, not that great. Now, people look at the Spurs matchup, they see, over-under sitting at 240, and they're like, oh, I got to hammer all the overs and points. But it's not that simple, because the Spurs, what they do on defense, which they don't do a lot, but they force people into the paint. In fact, the Spurs give up the 3rd most points per game in the paint, but allow the 3rd lowest 3-point frequency. So they're not allowing people to shoot a lot of threes. And while the Warriors are going to be an anomaly, they're going to shoot threes regardless of how you defend them. They're still, not letting the guys shoot a ton of threes. And I don't think that I think that plays well into Klay Thompson's under. Guy that we know, Klay Thompson, if he's going to score, it's going to be a lot of 3-pointers. And you look at the Warriors, 9-point favorites. So a blowout, always a possibility, but I don't expect this to be a blowout. But this is the first road game for Klay and really the Warriors since December 20th. That game, he scored 11 points against the Knicks. And look, I expect the Warriors to get Andrew Wiggins a little bit more going. Andrew Wiggins played 30 minutes, only had 10 points last game. Stephen Curry shot a lot, didn't knock down a lot of shots. And I don't love fading Klay Thompson because he's a guy that can make me look like a fool and go out there and drop 20 points in a quarter, but I just don't love him in this matchup today. I don't love him on the road. It's the first road game in a hot minute. Maybe he comes out a little bit cold. I know he's been hot recently, but it's not like he's necessarily knocking down 60% of his shots. It's just been a lot of volume. I don't necessarily know if the volume's 100% there today. Give me Klay Thompson. Give me his under 23.5 points. Now let's keep it moving. I got one more under and one more over. We'll get on out of here. Mr. Quentin Grimes of the New York Knicks. I like his under 17.5 PRAs, minus 118 on FanDuel. This is points, rebounds, and assists, as you can play this down the line. And as always, if you don't have a PRA line, I always prefer the points. If you ever see me take a points plus assist line, I'm always preferring the points. And that will be the same as the next play that we dive into. But let's talk about Mr. Quentin Grimes of the New York Knicks, my favorite team. RJ Barrett back in the fold today. Well, he returned last game, but Grimes a little bit more expendable than he used to be. Now, you look at last game when they took on the Indiana Pacers, it was a close game pretty much all the way to the end. You saw Julius Randle, RJ Barrett, Jalen Brunson, even Mitchell Robinson. All of them played 38 or more minutes. So they're out there for pretty much the whole game. You had Quentin Grimes playing 30 minutes in that game. And while he had 25 PRAs, he played pretty well. The line didn't move at all. They said, we saw your 25 PRAs. We'll give you the same line as you gave you last game. And you look at a Wizards team. How do you beat them? You go into the paint. They have no rim protection. Even if Kristaps plays, not a lot of rim protection. They basically force you into the paint. They don't allow a ton of threes. In fact, the 8th fewest three-pointers made allowed at home this year. And the Wizards are banged up. They got no Bradley Beal today. And while Kyle Kuzma's out there, maybe Kristaps returns, it's going to be probably a pretty slow-paced game in this one. Wouldn't be surprised if the regular under hits. And I just look at Grimes. He's not getting a lot of shot attempts with RJ Barrett, Julius Randle, who only attempted 12 shots last game. He probably shoots more. And then you got Jalen Brunson obviously running the show. I don't necessarily love him today. I think he has a pretty bad game. Maybe he scores like 8 to 10 points, and then he's going to need a lot of rebounds and assists, which he doesn't get a ton of normally. And you're going to see Robinson and Randall kind of down below in the paint if they're guarding like guys like Taj Gibson or Daniel Gaffords of the world. So either way, I think Grimes is a little bit expendable quickly, still coming off the bench playing 25 to 30 minutes. McBride plays a couple minutes here and there as well. I don't really love Grimes today. Don't love this matchup. Give me his under 17.5 PRAs, points, rebounds, assists, minus 118 on FanDuel. Now my third and final play of the day, then we'll get on out of here. Going to CJ McCollum. I like his over 32.5 points plus assists, minus 110 on DraftKings. Same thing as Grimes. If you don't have an individual line, take his over in points because that's probably what he's going to need a lot of to hit this over. Now, like I also, people will talk about his assists. He only has 1 and 4 assists in his last 2 games. I think it's a sneaky good game for him to get some assists. The Pistons, they don't play much defense these days, and he's been passing it to his teammates who just haven't been knocking down shots. Now, let's talk about the Pelicans. They're again without Zion Williamson and Brandon Ingram and probably Herb Jones as well. So a little bit shorthanded, and actually it's rare to see a Pistons team that has not been good this year to be just 5-point underdogs. So I think they're saying this game's a close one, and I think if it's close, that means McCollum's going to play his normal minutes, and he's going to play pretty well. Now, you look at the last couple of games, McCollum's been cooking, but he hasn't even been playing his full complement of minutes. Only 31 and 34 minutes his last 2 games. If a game is close, he's probably going to play closer to 37 or 38, maybe even more if he's cooking. And last 4 games hasn't mattered. McCollum, 34, 34, 35, and 42 points plus assists, cooking this line almost in just points itself. Last game, he dropped 38 points. So he's been hot, attempting 21 or more field goal attempts in all 4 of these games. And the Pistons really struggled against guards. Jaden Ivey, he's foul waiting to happen. He's going out there and hacking people. Killian Hayes, also a guy that goes out there, fouls a lot. They've really struggled defending opposing guards, especially the ones that are trying to score. McCollum's been too good of a groove to pass up. He's still, I don't necessarily know if he can become an all-star, but he's trying at least his hardest to get there and at least keep this Pelicans team at the top of the Western Conference. They're kind of starting to flutter as they've lost a couple of these past couple games. But you look at the over-under, 233.5. The Pelicans only 4-5-point favorites in this one. I think the Pistons are going to keep this game close. I think the Pelicans lean on McCollum to carry him here. He could hit this over in just points alone, but I also think he has a sneaky good assist game. Maybe he gets 6, 7, 8, maybe even 9, 10 assists in this matchup. I like it. I think the Pelicans have to go to CJ McCollum. Again, I like his over 32.5 points plus assists. Those are my 4 favorite plays of the day. Drop your favorite plays down below. I'll also have that ladder challenge posted probably around noon time, so you can be on the lookout for that. It's probably already live. I'll also post it on our Twitter at Calling Our Shot, and obviously post it for the All-Stars as well. As later today, we'll have an NFL video probably posted around 4 p.m. Eastern time for Saturday's slate of games. Either way, time to shout out some COS All-Stars. Love seeing this list grow every single day. If you want to become one, hit that join button. You get our plays early. Let's talk about these couple ones. Griffin, the guy I missed a couple days. I appreciate you. Marcos, we got Christopher, Lawson, John, D.O., we got Chris, we got AL Sports, David, Matthew, Elvis E46, George, we got Comp, we got Tasha, I probably pronounced that wrong. Solo, Tim, Broski 73, Jay, Justin, Sugar, Shane, Emil, Emily, Joseph, Gustavo, Jay from State Farm, Ethan, Matthew, Peter, Greg, Nike Wavy, Nike XX Wavy, JJ31, Justin, James, Clay, Mauricio, Daniel, Jones. You got a big game this weekend, sir. And KB, I appreciate you guys so much for supporting the channel. We can't do it without you guys. Thank you guys all for the love and support. We're closing down on 70K subscribers. Hopefully you enjoy these shorts that we're going to have fun creating. They'll be very short. Obviously, that's the nickname of them. But either way, let's have a 4-0 day. Let's get back to the winning ways. At least 3-1. Let's have a winning day. That's all we're asking for. See you guys back in the next one. Peace out.